Into the World of Outlaws Pro Series powered by iRacing for round number 8 at Fairbury American Legion Speedway in Fairbury, Illinois. Back with the late models tonight for 50 laps of great racing action. But first, heat races, last chance showdowns, qualifying already happened. So welcome in. My name is Ashton Smythe. I'm also going to be joined alongside Tim Terry and Josh Lee. Now, Josh, I just said 35 drivers locked in for tonight's show, but they had to get here through a different qualifying format than what the World of Outlaws Pro Series is typically used to. So why don't you break us down how these drivers locked in for tonight's show?
Well, it's another week and another main event. I mean, right after last week's main event on Monday night, the entire series was reset. Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday night, A-class drivers and the Dirt Oval license from all over the world went racing in the World of Outlaws Pro Qualifying Series powered by iRacing. Highest 35 qualifying point scores were locked into tonight's main event. We've got all of them here with us tonight. And after tonight's Pro Series race, well, we're going to reset the driver roster again. And with only a handful of rounds left in the campaign, Ashton, that's going to lead to a lot of drama when it comes to these points, because now is the time to get the points.
Exactly. Points are a big topic of discussion now as we get towards around the end of the series. But let's take a look at the schedule, where we've been so far. Volusia, Weedsport, Williams Grove, Lincoln, I-55 Speedway, Knoxville, Huset's. Tim, tonight at Fairbury.
Yeah, a big win last week for Ryan Avila. First win on the Pro Series for the World of Outlaws Pro Series powered by iRacing. 2 rounds left to go. Sprint cars at Eldora next week. And then the dirt track at Charlotte to close off this 2024-25 season. Been exciting so far.
100% is, and I expect nothing less tonight as the best of the best 35 drivers are here with us. And we'll take a second to look through the format for tonight. Like we already said, 35 guys are locked in tonight. But Josh, we have a lot of great racing action ahead of us.
Of course, qualifying that you just mentioned already happened. Top 8 have locked their way into the feature. Everybody else got to fight through the heats. We'll take the top 3 from each of our 8-lap heats tonight, and then we go into the last chance showdowns with top 2 advancing out of those 12-lap races, and then back to the late model, so back to 50 green flag laps. Caution laps will not count in tonight's feature race like it normally does, but we up the lap count 35s in the 410s, and we up to 50 now in the late models as we get ready to go racing once again on a Monday night.
Yeah, Josh, you just said it, qualifying wrapping up as we speak. Top 8 get locked into the feature. Tim, you know, qualifying can really be the big difference here, because also keep in mind there's that invert. So if you qualify in the pole position, you'll be starting the feature from the 8th position.
We talked to Evan C. last week when he won the pole. He's not racing for points, so starting 8th, you still have to work your way up. He's not really concerned about points. He just wants to win the darn thing, and we're going to see in a moment he missed it by 1. He's going to start on the pole at heat race number 1 this evening, and those top 8 led by Mike Augustine in the 19. So Augustine, Johnson, Tolleson, Yeager, Casey, Logan Rumsey, your point leader 6th. Robbie Buchanan and Tucker Elkins, they have the points. They've gained those points from qualifying. We'll flip them when we go to the feature. They'll have a top 8 invert, so Elkins and Buchanan will lead us to green tonight. And Evan C. right at the bottom, right on that cutoff, will start us from heat race number 1. And as they run after qualifying, Logan Rumsey, again, making the grade 8, Ashton, and making it in through qualifying. We don't see Kendall Tucker's name. He's going to have to make it through one of these heat races.
And Tim, tonight, those points with Logan Rumsey being at the top. We just finished qualifying, and Rumsey going to extend that points lead, but Tucker's still going for stuff. J.D. Brown still going for points. Dylan Yeager, Ryan Avila, his win last week propels him back into the top 5. Majulis, Johnson, Augustine, C, and Pettit, all with something still to say, but that battle for the championship going to start to come down to those top 2 very soon.
It is a dangerous thing, Josh, when you're not racing for points. Evan C., one of those in the back half of the top 10. Ashton, we're getting ready for heat race number 1. This is going to be exciting with a couple of those guys missing the mark in qualifying. And it's going to be Evan C. starting on the pole position for Majula C. Speed Shop to the outside. Former winner already this season. Car number 10 is Connor New. Talon Willis in the 10 on the inside with Blake Majulis on the outside. Majula C. Speed Shop 1, 2, 3, 4 in this heat race. Loic Bernier from Victoriaville, Quebec, Canada for Alpha Industries on the inside of row number 3 with Braden Carter to the outside in car number 5. Derek Dryman in the 4-4-4. First time we've seen Derek this season. Going to roll off in position number 7 with Desmond Busby. First time we've seen Desmond since the start of the season. Josh going to roll off on the outside of row number 4 with Tyler Orr in car number 3, completing your field for heat race number 1.
9 cars going green flag racing tonight as we begin the road to tonight's feature race. Top 8 in from qualifying. We'll take the top 3 here from the first of 3 heats as the field rolls off here at the Fairbury American Legion Speedway. Weather in the sim tonight, Tim, couldn't be much better. 67 degrees in the air, 22-mile-an-hour winds. That's going to be something that I think we talked about a couple of times. And the track temp of 86 degrees Fahrenheit. What will these drivers be facing tonight? We're glad that you're with us again on a Monday night for the World of Outlaws Pro Series powered by iRacing. It's time to go racing from Fairbury, and immediately the 33 gets a great jump into turn number 1. They fan out very wide racetrack here at Fairbury American Legion Speedway, but already the 33 goes back to the bottom in 3.
And Talon Willis in that 10, that's the white 10 to the bottom side, trying to get the black 10 at Connor New to the outside as they go for position number 2 behind. It's a fight for 4th, Josh, but that's a great spot in an LCS.
Bernier fighting for the transfer, side by side behind as Majulis tries to get the elbows out. Majulis is going backwards right now. This is not where the 127 wants to be, not where we expect the 127 to be. He goes upstairs trying to run the boards now through 1 and 2.
Majulis now goes down to the bottom side to try to pick up position number 5. He's going to have some company down below. Top 4 are single file as we continue to work around here. You ride on board with Blake Majulis. He's elbows up, trying to get a couple of spots.
Utilizing the VR headset as he works his way back through 3 and 4. 3 laps to go now. C. New and Willis the top 3. You can see in front, Bernier goes now up to the top side to try and get the transfer. He goes back to the bottom. Majulis is on the wall.
You got Desmond Busby there as well, and we'll see him in a last chance showdown. Meanwhile, up in front, it's all Evan C. pacing this field.
And that was Blake Majulis that we rode on board with that slammed the wall and got caught in the wall. White flag is out for Sinu and Willis. It's going to be not a lot of pressure within that top 3 to get into the feature, but here comes Bernier back to the bottom, and not enough at the line with Evan C., Connor New, Talon Willis, top 3 advancing on to tonight's feature race.
Yeah, Loic Bernier going to be on the outside looking in. Desmond Busby as well. First time we've seen him since the season opener. Going to be 5th. Dryman Orr, Majulis at the back, and Carter going to round off our field. So that is going to be a LCS to look forward to, Ashton. And once again, Evan C. picks up a heat race victory. Just missed the top 8.
Just shy of locking into the Great 8 tonight. He's going to have some lots of positions to make up in the feature later on tonight. But let's take a look at how the points break down. The person who qualifies on pole will get 25 points towards their total, 23, 22, 21, so on and so forth. Heat race win pays 15 points apiece, 14 and down throughout. So obviously qualifying in pays more points than the heat races, and you get them for the main feature as well. And we'll talk to Evan C. now, who picked up that heat race win. It was an exciting one. You'll be starting 9th. You just missed the Great 8 here tonight. You said you're not running for points tonight. Are you confident, though, that with starting 9th, you can make it up into victory lane at the end of the night?
Yeah, it's Fairbury, so a lot can happen. And, I like our race pace here, but one week I think we tried to hit the invert there and missed it by 1 spot. But it seems like I either qualify pole or miss the invert. I don't do anything in between to try and get myself a good starting spot. But like I said, I like a race pace here, and 50 laps at Fairbury, a lot can happen. So we'll just try to not get any damage and stay out of trouble, and see if we can end up in the lead at the end.
Well, congratulations on your heat race win. We'll see you in the feature.
Yep, thank you.
Evan C. picks up heat race number 1 win. And guys, he just said it's Fairbury. Anything can happen as heat race number 2 is getting ready to line up right now. We'll see them in just a couple moments. Great first heat race. We're looking forward to another one. Starting from the pole position will be Jesse Enterkin in the 25 machine, Matthew Watts in the 11 on his outside. Row number 2 sees Diesel, Jones, and Gabe Elkins. Row 3 on the inside in the 00 machine, Kendall Tucker, and starting on his outside will be the 20 car of Aiden Forster. And rounding out the field tonight in row number 4 will be Colton Jordan in the 8 car and Mason Inman in the 6. Wow, what a great first heat race, guys. It's going to be another exciting one for heat race number 2.
I'm expecting a lot from Fairbury American Legion Speedway. I don't know about you, Tim, but what I noticed on that starting grid there was we got a lot of names in this heat that we have not seen in a couple of weeks here on the World of Outlaws Pro Series powered by iRacing.
And then I look at row number 3, give me Kendall Tucker and give me Aiden Forster. Forster's a sprint car guy by trade, Josh, but has done fairly well this season in the late model when we have seen him. Kendall Tucker has been top 10 every race so far this season, but qualifying dug himself a hole. He's got some work to do as the field works by. We should be coming back to green next time. Bye.
Tucker hasn't missed a main, hasn't missed a feature so far this season. Not exactly the same for Aiden Forster, but he's still got some pretty good speed under the hood of that late model. Ready to go racing. Heat race number 2, another 8 laps on the docket, and let's go back to racing. Jesse Enterkin leads him into 1, but 3 wide for second. Down to the bottom goes the 00, and that's going to work for Kendall Tucker. He's in the wall. He hits the outside of Gabe Elkins, pushes him into the barge boards. Same with Aiden Forster now as he goes up and into the outside wall in turn 4, and the transfer spot is now blown up with Jones now holding the 3rd spot. Slider from Tucker for 4th.
They are going at it back here for 4th as Kendall Tucker trying everything that he can. Josh, you got to do what you got to do to try to make it into the feature. I'm sure officials aren't going to love it, but up in front, we're almost 3 wide for the lead.
Enterkin holds that spot still. Watts now goes up top. Jones now there in 3rd, and you can see the battling going on back behind with Inman and Tucker as they battle. Not for the transfer, but for 4th. Tucker throws another slider in 4, and he gets that successful spot for the moment. Inman back to the bottom as they continue to send sliders on each other, Tim. Not going to do much. Top 3 pulling away.
Yeah, Watson the 11 up by the boards trying to make something happen on the outside. Enterkin in the middle of the racetrack holding a pretty wheel right now, trying to pick up a heat race victory as you ride on board with Mason Inman. And oh, there's Kendall Tucker.
Another slider sent, and here comes Mason Inman back into 1. There's another slider again as we look off the back of his number 6 late model. Here comes Tucker back to the bottom. As long as they keep doing this, the top 3 are loving what they're seeing in the rear view mirror. White flag in the air for Enterkins, for Watts, for Jones. How about Jesse Enterkin at the front of the field? Has not made a feature since round number 1 at Volusia, and he's going to walk away with a heat race number 2 victory tonight.
That is huge for Jesse Enterkin. He loves these late models. It's good to see him here on a Monday night and good to see him have the success. Enterkin, Watson, Jones are through. Kendall Tucker to an LCS. Mason Inman, Jordan Forster, and Elkins, the rest of your field. Ashton Smythe, that was entertaining, and Jesse Enterkin picking up a big win.
Guys, it was nothing short of entertaining. Fairbury always provides that for us, and it is showing why it is a lot of people's favorite tracks here tonight. But guys, we've talked about it a lot. Points are on the line. We're getting towards the end of the season, and there's a lot to pick up for these drivers. $10,000 goes to the champion, and it's a close battle right now. Only 30 points separates 1st and 2nd, $4,000 for 2nd, $2,000 for 3rd. And they will also be recognized at the 2025 Dirt Car Nationals at Volusia with a check, an official World of Outlaws trophy, all the fun stuff. But there's also $300 on the line tonight for the winner of tonight's race. $200 goes to 2nd and $100 to 3rd. So let's catch up with the winner of heat race number 2, Jesse Enterkin. And what a show you put on. Now, I heard it was a super last-minute entry for you. You weren't sure if you were going to make it or not. You came out, you showed up, and you showed out. How do you approach this feature tonight?
Oh, gosh, I'm just thankful to be here. You know, like you said, it was a real late notice. I had no idea until about, I don't know, like 3 o'clock today when I got the call and figured out that I was in. So I'm just lucky to lay down a good enough lap in qualifying and just get a good start there and just kind of maintain a good pace to to pick up the win. As far as the feature goes, I don't know. I'm just happy to be here and glad to make the show for tonight's main event.
Great job out there, and we'll see you in the feature.
Thank you.
Jesse Enterkin, everybody, picks up heat race number 2 win. Got the call at 3 o'clock, showed up and showed out, that is for sure. So congratulations to him. One more heat race on the docket for tonight, and no stranger to the series will roll off from the pole position, the 52 car of James Eden, and on his outside of row number 1, Tanner Pettit in the 24. Row number 2 sees Riley Hutchinson in the 2 machine and the 17 car of Caleb Durgan. Row number 3 sees last week's winner Ryan Avila in the 49 car and Damian Kiefer in the 13. Row number 4 has the 101 machine of Brent Evans and the 7 car of Elijah Johnson. So lots of big names in this one. Like I said, last heat race for these drivers to try to lock in. We will take the top 3. Guys, it's been super exciting so far. Looking forward to getting another one here. And like I said, one more heat race, 8 laps, and then we go into Last Chance Showdown, 12 laps apiece, top 2 advance, and then it's feature racing action time, 15 green flag laps. Cautions do not count during these heat races.
And Ashton, we saw last week at Huset's that the Last Chance Showdowns got exciting, and so did the end of our heat race proceedings. Notably, we did not see a James Edens at Huset's last week after the holiday break. What can he do as he starts on the pole here in heat race number 3? It's been drama-filled heat races tonight. What will we see with just one more left? James Edens on the lap pedal, and we're back underway. Heat race number 3 is off and running. The battle for the transfer is already on as they make contact for third. Up the wall goes the 24, 3 wide for the moment as they dive it on in. Currently on the timing, it's Ryan Avila on the 49 on the inside that's got the transfer, but they're still sending it back into turns 1 and 2.
Last week's feature winner looking to the bottom side of Pettit to try to punch his ticket into round number 8. Currently has him, but Pettit still on the outside, and they're stacked with the 17 as well of Durgan. 3 wide and almost 4 for position number 2 as Hutchinson almost has a moment in front of them.
This is your transfer battle that we're looking at right now. It is 3 wide for the last 3 laps. Into halfway now in heat race number 3. Back to the bottom goes Avila, but he's going to lose out to Durgan, who runs the outside line. Side by side now for 4th. Let's go on board with Damian Kiefer. He's got a front row seat back to turn 1.
Yeah, Kiefer's going to make something happen here. He's got to get up on the wheel. Needs 3 of these drivers in front of him to try to make it into the feature through this heat race, but he's running at a time. 3 laps to go this time by. Avila right ahead of him. Pettit right ahead of him. How does he get by?
With this angle, you can see just how fast these super late models go around the Fairbury American Legion Speedway, Tim. They are just going fast and furious. It's so tough to make these moves, but Durgan is all on defense right now as Pettit fights from 4th, and back up to the barge boards goes Ryan Avila. It's looking less and less likely like he's going to qualify in from this heat. White flag is out, and James Eden's very familiar territory for him. He walks away with a heat race victory. Slider on the last lap for Tanner Pettit. Couldn't do it. Caleb Durgan ends up with the 3rd and final transfer spot, and Riley Hutchison ends up in the middle. 2nd place finish in the heat, and he is moving on as well to tonight's feature race. Edens wins that 3rd heat race of the night, with Riley Hutchison and Caleb Durgan advancing on into the feature. Ashton, that's how we end the heats, and I can't think of a more exciting way to do it with a 3 wide battle for the transfer for half that heat.
Yeah, Josh, that was exciting for sure. And like you said, transfer was anyone's game there, but Durgan was the lucky one who came home with that final transfer position. Riley Hutchison, James Eden locked into feature. Everyone else, we'll see him in an LCS in just a couple minutes. So big congratulations to James Eden. Just one more reminder about how they qualify. Every Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday, 8 p.m., you have your qualifier nights open to all A-class dirt oval licensed drivers on iRacing. Qualifying points are based on strength of field finishing position, so it's not easy for these drivers to lock in to be one of the top 35 each and every single week on Mondays. Then after each week, it is reset. We see a new slate of guys each and every single week, but one we've seen a lot of this year has been James Eden, who picked up the heat race number 3 win, and we'll talk to him in just a couple moments. Just as I say that, James Eden is ready. Smile on his face after picking up a heat race win. You got a good qualifying run in, but just missed the top 8. But you're locked into the feature. That's got to take a big weight off your shoulders tonight, huh?
Well, for sure. Yeah, we had a good qualifying lap. Just missed it by a little bit there to be locked in. But, starting pole the heat race is always good. Just got a good start, got out front, made, 8 clean laps, and see what we can do in the feature here.
Well, we're looking forward to it. Congratulations.
Thank you.
James Edens, everyone, picked up the heat race number 3 win. And now we're going to talk to the man who set the fastest lap earlier on the Majula C Speed Shop 19 machine, Mike Augustine. Mike, you seem to be very consistent each and every single week when you come out and run with us. You made a fast lap in qualifying, but now you're starting 8th. How are you feeling going tonight's 50-lap feature?
Yeah, we feel pretty good. I ran a handful of laps here. We feel pretty good around the racetrack. Kind of surprised myself going P1 there, but let's see what we can do from 8th.
Well, there you go. We're looking forward to it, and we'll see you in the feature.
Thank you.
Mike Augustine qualified fastest earlier on, but like we said, there's that 8 car up. So it'll be an exciting feature for sure. And guys, something else that's really exciting, I don't know if you guys have had the chance to play it yet. The new World of Outlaws game is out and released. Have either of you guys played it yet?
I haven't had the opportunity because it hasn't been on PC, but guess what? We've got a Steam release coming up next month on February 5th for World of Outlaws Dirt Racing 24, Tim. That's going to be my invitation, and I think I'm going to play that maybe a little bit too much than I really need to with my travel schedule.
Yeah, absolutely. Me too. Very excited to check it out. Already have it on my Steam wish list. If you haven't already, be sure to get it. Or if you have a Xbox One, Xbox Series X, S or X, PS4 or PS5, Ashton, you got to get it already.
Yep, I've had the opportunity to play. I will say I'm not the best race car driver in the whole entire world, but it is fun nonetheless. 11 different disciplines of racing, including new this year, micro sprint cars and 410 wingless sprint cars, and all the DLC cars from the past couple releases. 49 different tracks. They also just released Oswego Speedway and new appearance pack, 25 alternate schemes to race as your favorite outlaw. There's opportunities to do career mode, to just go out and run some laps around your favorite track, so it is one you do not want to miss. Just as I say that, it is time for last chance showdowns, and starting off with the first LCS, Loic Bernier just missed a heat race transfer position earlier on, and he will roll off from the pole position of LCS number 1 with Tanner Pettit in the 24 machine on his outside. Mason Inman would roll off from the inside of row number 2 with Derek Dryman in the 444 on his outside. Row number 3 sees Damian Kiefer in the 13 machine and Aiden Forster in the 20 car. In row number 4, you have Blake Majulis and Elijah Johnson. Guys, Blake Majulis in the back of an LCS. That's not somewhere we're used to seeing that driver of the 127 car.
Majula is going to have a long way to fight here in the last chance showdown. Luckily, he's got a couple of extra laps. Instead of 8 we had for the heats, it's 12, but we're also going to take 1 less car and put 2 forward into tonight's feature race. Ready to go green. First of our 2 last chance showdowns. We've got 9 more drivers that have joined the 8 from qualifying into the feature. We got 4 more that want their rightful spot on the starting grid. Let's see who is going to get it. LCS number 1 is green. Like Bernier with the early lead. Tanner Pettit trying to protect the transfer spot. He's upstairs. Downstairs is Mason Inman. How about that, number 6? He's at speed all night, and he looks for a transfer on the inside of the 24.
Pettit worked hard in his heat race to try to get a transfer position, almost 2 and 3 wide. Most of the show behind. Little contact with 13 Kiefer going around. They save it. We stay straight and narrow, but there's the 24 back to the bottom side. Almost 3 wide, trying to make it in the middle.
Ran into Derek Dryman on the inside. We have not seen Dryman yet this season. What if he could qualify for a feature? He goes all the way downstairs, but Mason Inman, who qualified for the I-55 feature a couple of weeks ago, looks for another slider sent from Dryman, or an attempt at that. He doors the 6, the 24. Pettit goes back to the inside in 3, and just like that, we're 3 wide for the transfer again. Inman into the wall and out of the race.
He might have had a little help from Forster as he went sliding again in the wall to the outside. Goes Dryman, Forster down to the bottom side. Tanner Pettit going to pick up position number 2. And this is where the gloves begin to come off.
Pettit with damage goes back up to the cushion. Now Dryman goes for the transfer, doesn't get it there. Does he get it on the second one? Yes, he does. Aiden Forster sends another one in turn 4. He goes up top. Pettit goes down low to try and protect again. But we're over halfway done in this last chance showdown, and Dryman's got the transfer.
But now Aiden Forster can get back and try to make something happen, trying to get to position number 2. Bernier's gone ahead of the field. Lloyd Bernier trying to put this one in the bag himself, and Forster trying to make something happen in second.
We're not talking much about Lloyd Bernier because he said goodbye to everybody else in this race. Now Forster gets the transfer. Majulis now into third. Where did the 127 come from? He's got an opportunity at this one, and he sees red, but he's got 3 laps to do it.
Pettit is fading on the bottom side, going to lose one more to Kiefer. Can Blake Majulis make this happen? He's got a long way to go, but only a short time to get there. 2 laps to go, and he's got to get position number 2 from Aiden Forster.
Bernier, unless he makes a mistake, is going to be your LCS number 1 winner, but what can Forster do? He's got the 127 in his mirror, but it might be too little too late. Does Majulis miss a feature for the first time this season in the mains that he's qualified for? Sends one in, not even close. Lloyd Bernier qualifies, Aiden Forster qualifies, and Blake Majulis is going to be going home. Out of all the mains he's qualified for this season, he's only missed 1 main, that was Knoxville, and he does not make tonight's feature. Bernier and Forster advance. Majulis, Kiefer, Pettit, Dryman, Inman, and Johnson all are going home out of last chance showdown number 1. Tim, we've got 2 more into the feature, but Blake Majulis, how about that for the points as well? He does not qualify for the feature race.
Had that one hiccup early in the race with Damian Kiefer at the back of the field, and that's what's going to ultimately, I think, be his undoing in this last chance showdown. But we're getting ready to see one more. We've got one more last chance showdown. Top 2 advance, and then everybody else, if you're outside looking in, they head to the house. And we saw some big names in Last Chance Showdown number 1. We've got a couple of big names in Last Chance Showdown number 2 that were trying to do work in those heat races, but just couldn't get to a transfer position. And I think we're going to see it get very busy very quickly in that Last Chance Showdown as the field begins to grid. And there's the name, Kendall Tucker. He's finished in the top 10 every single feature that we've had so far this season. Gonna have to work from position number 1 with Desmond Busby to the outside in car number 82. Ryan Avila, last week's winner, has to come from an LCS. He's gonna start in third with Colton Jordan to the outside in car number 8. Tyler Orr in car number 3 to the inside. Brent Evans in the 101 to the outside, and Gabe Elkins and Braden Carter complete your field. So I like the inside of row number 1, Josh. I like the inside of row number 2. 2 names we are very familiar with, and 2 very familiar names to this Pro Series. But they've got 6 other drivers that want one of those 2 spots.
And up at the front, Kendall Tucker, fastest driver on paper in this second LCS. But is he going to qualify for the feature? Got a lot of hungry drivers behind him. How about Desmond Busby, who has been with us a handful of times? He got a 3rd at I-55, didn't qualify for the feature last week at Huset's. He's going to be hungry from 2nd place. How about Ryan Avila, Tim? Last week's feature race winner at the sprint cars at Huset's. Got the first ever World of Outlaws Pro Series powered by iRacing win at the Huset Speedway. He's now staring at not qualifying for the very next feature race.
You know, we talk about this series, Josh, with the sprint cars and the late models. Prior to this season, they've had different champions. They've had different seasons. They've had 10 races to try to win a championship. We've seen guys like Ryan Avila be really strong in the sprint car, and now this series brings together the best of both worlds. And if you're Ryan Avila, you're good at the late models. You're obviously in the top 35, but you're trying to sharpen that pencil just a little bit on some of these racetracks, and sometimes you just miss it when it either comes to qualifying or these heat races. Gonna try to put it in the show, but he's got to get by Kendall Tucker and Desmond Busby, 2 drivers that have been around this Pro Series for a very long time.
And you're talking about Avila being a sprint car guy, a 10th place at Williams Grove, a 19th at I-55. Definitely nothing to scoff at. Still made those feature races. Can he make tonight's? We've only got 2 more spots in the feature. We're about to find out which 2 they're going to belong to. And to the hole shot goes Kendall Tucker in the 00. Avila trying to make work of it on the inside. He fights for the transfer. The 82 and Desmond Busby is upstairs. We're 4 wide, almost behind as they lean on each other back to the stripe.
Avila down to the bottom, trying to pick up second and in behind. Not really concerned with what's on the inside of him. Avila throws it in, comes up the racetrack. Busby's going to take position number 2 off the corner. Now Ryan Avila's going to figure something out.
Avila tries to figure out the cushion, but he loses time as Busby goes to the inside to try and get by Kendall Tucker. Tucker now goes upstairs. The 07 of Elkins just sends a slider in on Orr as they all fight from 4th on back. 3rd place, contact between the 101 and the 3. That was Brent Evans on the Tyler Orr. Colton Jordan also got involved in that one, but the eyes focus on Ryan Avila and Elkins. That's Gabe Elkins to the inside looking for 3rd.
Tucker and Busby currently your top 2. Avila trying to play chase and Elkins trying to get in to what would be their first feature of the season. We're halfway home in this one. Ryan Avila still searching on the bottom side to try to get by Busby, and they're all trying to catch Kendall Tucker as you ride on board with Desmond Busby trying to hold on.
You'd see Ryan Avila disappear. He went for the move as Avila stays in 3rd. Busby sends another one in. Avila back to the bottom. Over halfway done in LCS number 2, and Avila wants the spot. Does he get it off turn 2? No, he doesn't. They door slam as they head back to 3. What can Gabe Elkins do now? The 82's in the wall. Avila to the transfer, and Busby has to fight back for 4th.
Elkins trying to make their first feature. They've got nothing to lose here, Josh. Got to get by Ryan Avila at whatever cost. Desmond Busby trying to do the same thing. Avila trying to move forward and trying to get some valuable championship points out of tonight's race as they come by one more time. And here comes the 07 of Elkins to the inside.
And he makes contact with Avila. That's going to send the 49 back multiple car lengths. He sends it back into turns 1 and 2, though. 3 wide again. Contact to the inside. Busby and Evans slam into each other. Now Busby slams into the front end of Ryan Avila. And as they fight from 3rd on back, it's not going to matter. Kendall Tucker qualifies for the feature. And Gabe Elkins is going to join him out of LCS number 2. Desmond Busby misses, Avila misses, Brent Evans misses, as at the end of that feature race, everybody was sending sliders on each other from 3rd on back. But guess what? 3rd doesn't qualify like it does in the heats. 2nd place does. Kendall Tucker, Gabe Elkins have advanced into the feature. They take the final 2 spots. Desmond Busby, Ryan Avila, Brent Evans, Braden Carter, Tyler Orr, and Colton Jordan all say good night. But we're not saying good night just yet from Fairbury American Legion Speedway. 50 laps of super late model racing in the features coming up next. You're tuning into the World of Outlaws Pro Series powered by iRacing.
Dirt Racing 24 is available now.
Racing isn't easy, but experiencing it is. iRacing puts you in the driver's seat with the industry's leading sim racing game. Drive on laser scan replicas of the greatest racing circuits from around the world. Go head-to-head against other drivers chosen by skill-based matchmaking to ensure competitive racing at every level. Compete across all your favorite series. In officially licensed cars, engineered to deliver the most accurate driving experience possible. Join a race or host your own with players from across the globe. Race against the computer or in a league with friends. Feel the thrill behind the wheel. Visit iRacing.com.
Welcome back to Fairbury, round number 8 as the drivers are on the racetrack, getting the track worked in. We've had a complete rework after the last chance showdown, and we are getting ready to go racing. And Josh, we've only got one left. It's 50 green flag laps in the feature.
We're going to turn up the energy. We're going to turn up the drama. I mean, we add in the 8 fastest from qualifying, including our quick time driver, into the top 3 that advanced through all of our heats, and the 2 that advanced from both of our last chance showdowns. This is going to be an exciting one, Tim. Super late models on such a short track like Fairbury American Legion Speedway. The sprint cars can almost stretch their legs a little bit. These late models are going to be tight on this track.
We've seen it in the heat races. We've seen it in the last chance showdowns. You want to be up front. You want to get that hole shot, and you want to get that opportunity to lead some laps in clean air. And Ashton, we've seen the racetrack so far. We're going to see it get a rework. Fairbury has put on a show tonight.
100%, and Fairbury always does. You know, it's one of those tracks that you rather love or you hate. It's big, it's flat. So let's take a look at it right now on your screen. It's located in Fairbury, Illinois. Half miles, and it opened back in 1946, and it's home of the famous Prairie Dirt Classic. Last year's late model winner here was Blake Majulis. Now that's one to talk about. Blake Majulis has had a rough night so far here, Tim.
Yeah, had a rough night and going to end up on the outside looking in on this one as the final couple of moments go through in this happy hour session. And Josh, we're seeing some of the highlights from earlier tonight, and this has provided some great racing action. 2, 3, 4, and I think 5 wide at one point.
You can use pretty much any lane here at Fairbury American Legion Speedway. That is what provides such exciting racing in these late models. Evan C. walked away with a heat race victory. Enerkin, Edens, Bernier, Tucker won all of our heats in LCSs. Now they're getting ready to race in the feature. But so far tonight, Ashton, it's just been a ton of great racing. Sliders sent everywhere. Drivers going up top to the barge boards. They're going all the way down low as they can go, and everywhere in between. That's not going to end when we put a handful of drivers out on the track for the feature race. I think it's only going to get ramped up.
Exactly, Josh. You know, that's the thing. We're taking a look at those highlights right now. This track is wide, so there's lots of room to run 3 wide, throw those sliders. But let's take a look at the points as they stand right now. Logan Rumsey still sits atop of the points charts now with 759 points. Kendall Tucker, 711. He's had a rough night as well, so Logan Rumsey's hoping to capitalize on that. And third is J.D. Brown. Like I said, round number 8. There's only 2 more races left for these guys to get as many points as they possibly can to go towards the championship at the end of the year. 50 laps are about to start, and this is your starting lineup for round number 8. Rolling off from the pole position, the 87 car out of Free Speed of Tucker Elkins, and on his outside, also from Free Speed in the 31 machine, Robbie Buchanan Jr. Current points leader 41 car of Logan Rumsey will roll off from the inside of row number 2, and to his outside, a new guy here with us tonight, the 42 of Jordan Casey. Dylan Yeager in the 48 machine from Hamilton Township, New Jersey, will roll off on the inside of row number 3, and to his outside, the 327 car of Hayden Tolson with the Midwest Sim Sports team. Rolling off from row number 4, the 11 car will be on the inside of Ethan Johnson out of Free Speed Camp, and on the outside, the guy who had the fastest lap earlier in qualifying out of Majulis C Speed Shop, the 19 car of Mike Augustine. And on the inside of row number 5, Evan C. from the Majulis C Speed Shop Camp as well in the 33 car. And on his outside, Jesse Enterkin in the 25 machine from Milton, Florida. Row number 6 sees James Edens in the 52 car, the Alpha Industries Purple 52 on the inside. And on his outside, Connor New in the 10 machine out of Majulis C Speed Shop Camp. Row number 7 sees the 11 car of Matthew Wath on the inside, and the 2 car out of Australia of Riley Hutchinson. Row number 8 has the 10 machine of Talon Willis from Elizabeth, Louisiana. And on his outside, the 46 car of Diesel Jones, also from the Majulis Speed Shop Camp. Row number 9 has the 17 machine of Caleb Durgan and the 74 car of Loic Bernier from Quebec, Canada. Row number 10 sees Kendall Tucker in the 00 machine from Mount Airy, North Carolina. And starting on his outside, of row number 10, Aiden Forrester in the 20 machine from Cass City, Michigan. And starting shotgun on the field is the 07 car of Gabe Elkins. Guys, there you have it, your 21 starters for this 50-lap feature. It is going to be an exciting one.
Track temp falling a little bit. Same thing with the wind speed down to 19 miles per hour, but the temperature of 69 degrees in the air in the sim, I think it's going to be turned up just a little bit more as we get ready to go racing again with these late models. What started the season in Volusia and what will end the season at the dirt track at the Charlotte Motor Speedway in these late models. We take the second to last late model round here at the Fairbury American Legion Speedway. iRacing pace truck into the safety of the pit lane. And as we get ready to go racing from America's dirt track, it's feature time at Fairbury. Let's go! Into the lead immediately, your pole sitter Tucker Elkins. Robbie Buchanan Jr. on a hot spot from second. He gets a good running at back to turn 3 as Logan Rumsey, Jordan Casey side by side for third. But Buchanan's going for the lead already, back to 1.
To the outside, trying to pick up the lead or keep the lead is Elkins. Buchanan trying to take it away. This is the first time, Josh, we've seen the top 8 on the racetrack in competitive laps, and we're starting to see those drivers try to figure out where their limits are, at least on this 2 and 3 wide racetrack.
In competitive laps, and competitive is all of them as Tucker Elkins continues to lead the way. Robbie Buchanan continues to fight from the second place. Here's those differing lines that we're starting to see, Tim. You mentioned it earlier. Major track refresh, a completely reset track as we got ready to go racing for the feature. We've had some warm-up time on it, but right now, driver's bottom, driver's middle, a couple of drivers starting to experiment with the cushion, but not a whole lot of running up there just yet.
And Dylan Yeager's almost into the U-tires down to the bottom as they continue to work down to the bottom side. That's Logan Rumsey to the upside. Rumsey, your point leader in the black 41, and trying to make something happen in the middle of the top 5. Buchanan and Elkins continue to go back and forth for the lead.
Buchanan got it. Tucker Elkins back to the bottom. Slider sent into turn 3. Back to the bottom goes the 31. And they continue to trade spots side by side. 50 green flag laps means the caution laps will not count. Assuming we end up getting some yellow flags. They've been clean and green so far as we look at the Hornets' nest. The 48 went to the bottom of the racetrack. That's Dylan Yeager. This is back around that 5th place, 6th place spot that we were just watching.
Dylan Yeager, top 5 of the point standings, coming into this evening's racing action, trying to get something working on that bottom side. It was working early, but it looks like it's falling backwards a little bit now outside of the top 5. Mike Augustine, your quick qualifier, up to position number 6, but hasn't been able to make anything happen. Goes to the inside, looking for 5th.
Turns 3 and 4 starting to look a little bit single lane as everybody gets into the groove right on that outside, right on the middle cushion that's starting to develop right now. Contact made. The 19 just got by the 327. Using a bit of that front bumper was Mike Augustine, who was fast, was on the front, was qualified fastest, had the quick time in qualifying with the invert. Started P8, now trying to fight for 6 as he goes to the inside of Dylan Yeager.
And we're starting to see the white, red, and gold, the 33 of M&C down to the bottom side. Won his heat race, has to work through a little bit of traffic. Hasn't really been able to make a whole lot of inroads from 9th up to 7th and out of the bottom side of Dylan Yeager. First time we've seen anybody to the bottom side of the 48 tonight.
M&C looks low again. The 327 slams into the 48. Let's take a look at those live points as they run, Tim. Logan Rumsey in 4th right now. Of course, has that points lead. Had it coming into tonight. But Kendall Tucker qualified in out of LCS number 2. Already up to P13 with 66 points behind the 41 now. He's got to keep going forward.
We see this battle. He's right behind it. A flash of blue right there, right at a turn number 4. He is just behind this. If something happens, don't want to mention caution, Josh, but if something does happen, he'd be right up here in this pack battling for the top 10 as M&C still tries to fight the middle. Dylan Yeager still down to the bottom, and they're knocking on the door of a top 5 effort.
What I mentioned is a single groove turns 3 and 4 to start this feature is now as multi-groove as you can get. We've got drivers up by the wall. We've got drivers down low. A handful running down the middle. We're on board with Kendall Tucker, who gives a shot to the 25 in front. That was Jesse Enterkin. Enterkin now goes all the way down, trying to send a slider on the 2. Riley Augustine in front, doesn't get there. Tucker goes back to the top side in one.
Love this new particle model that came out in the last build. You can see these guys working the dirt and working the dust around this racetrack as well. Tucker down to the bottom side, trying to get one more. There goes the 25 of Enterkin, and that's a great battle just outside the top 10.
Send the slider in and invites another. Kendall Tucker back to the inside in 4, and he gets that spot from the 25. That is spot done. Maybe not done. Here comes the 25 of Jesse Enterkin back to the bottom. We're watching the battle with Kendall Tucker as he continues to try and fight from 12th up top box, race for 4th. The 19 of Mike Augustine is making headway on the top 3, which you can put a blanket under right now. Elkins, Buchanan, Jr., and Casey separated by a handful of tenths, but the yellow flag is out first time tonight.
We had one in the wall just outside the top 5, Josh. I didn't catch a number on it, but we had one just barely catch the wall in that battle, and I think that would be the caution, and it might be the 10 of Connor New. We'll see what happens on the replay in just a moment, but man, Robbie Buchanan, Tucker Elkins have been going back and forth for the lead. We've been watching Mike Augustine, quick qualifier, come from 8th up to 4th. There's been a lot of quick battles on this racetrack as the field waits for the pace truck.
And pace truck comes by, and we'll take a look at what happened. I think it's exactly what you just mentioned, Tim. The 10 of Connor New right behind, and you can see he just got up into the outside wall, and unfortunately he slams the right front, and it breaks off on this new iRacing damage model, and he just had nothing that he could do. He was stuck on that outside wall. Got it slowed down. Luckily didn't collect any other cars, but Tim, that's caution flag number 1 as the field gets reset.
And we're getting ready, I think, to come back to it as the field gets ready to get double file. And almost halfway through this one, Josh, and we see our first caution. Now we see our first restart.
Back to green with just over halfway left in this race. The 42 of Jordan Casey goes back to the bottom of the racetrack. What's the story for Jordan Casey? He did not start in the first main event of the season, and then he finished 14th in the feature at Williams Grove. He's top of 4 wide as they go back to 1. That was Rumsey on the inside. Augustine sends a big one in, but loses time on the outside.
We saw this thing go green for almost the first half of this race. If you have an opportunity, you got to use it. It's time to go now to set yourself up. Rumsey in the middle, slider up the hill. Mike Augustine was battling for a top 5 spot, and now he's just outside in 6th.
He sent a big move into 1 and 2, and unfortunately it just cost him too much time. He now falls into line with the drivers running the cushion. The 327 goes back to the middle, but how about Evan C? He's chosen the bottom lane. The 48 of Dylan Yeager's in tow, but Evan C wants to run the bottom. He's trying to corral drivers to go down there, and right now, honestly, Tim, it's working. He's 4th, knocking on the door of a podium.
He's going where they're not and making it work right now. Evan C trying to get that podium spot, and Dylan Yeager a couple of car lengths in behind trying to do the same thing. Elkins and Buchanan. We've been talking about this battle in the middle of the pack, Josh, but there are 2 drivers that are looking to make a statement here tonight up front.
Tucker Elkins so far this season has only qualified for 1 other feature. It was back at I-55. He finished 18th in that feature. He's looking for a good night tonight as we look on board with Ethan Johnson, the Bakersfield, California driver in the number 11. Fights from currently right now P5 as he's got a mess behind him.
Ethan Johnson fighting for a top 10 spot in the championship standings. Logan Rumsey's your point leader right in behind him in car number 41 as they try to make their way up and gain a top 5 spot out of this one. Do I see a Kendall Tucker back there 3 wide?
You might. It looks like you do as he sends up to the 327. He pushed Hayden Tolleson up and into the wall. Now here comes Mike Augustine back to the bottom. That was the 10M, and Talon Willis sending a slider to the inside as well. But Tucker's in the top 10. 16 to go at the line this time, and he's trying to make more headway as battle for the lead goes to Tucker Elkins again. Contact for the lead in 2.
And Jordan Casey wants a part of this as well. The 42 car wants to get up in here as Buchanan sends the slider back down to the inside goes Elkins. Elkins will take the lead back. Little shot in the shorts again.
Fighting for the lead and fighting from P8. Kendall Tucker looks for more points, but the drivers at the front, Robbie Buchanan Jr.'s top side from the bottom. Here comes Tucker Elkins back to the race lead with 14 to go. That was beautifully done off turn 4, but Buchanan back to the lead with a slider in 3 and 4. Buchanan, Tim, racing off of a hot spot right now, and he's fighting for the race lead.
Elkins makes these moves so easy. Buchanan able to get them back, and Casey parts flying off that 42 car sitting in 3rd, and Ethan Johnson wants a part of this too.
Buchanan best finish this season of 11th in a feature race. He looks for first win of 2025 in the lead right now. Tucker Elkins sits now P2, whose best finish in a feature is 18th. He's looking for a good result tonight, even if he doesn't get the win. But here comes Evan C. Don't count out that 33, Tim. He's still running the bottom. If anything happens with that cushion, that 33 is going to be right in the catbird seat.
He is putting the boots on and going to work on that bottom side, trying to march his way towards the front of this field as they battle for the lead. He's doing his own thing down on the inside. Johnson takes 3rd. Evan C. wants it.
Ethan Johnson out of the drivers at the front as the best finish of features. Sliders being sent further back. This is the battle for 10th right behind Kendall Tucker. Augustine's got it. Aiden Forster just sent the slider in on Talon Willis. Didn't work. Willis back to the bottom. The 74. Look, Bernier's in this one as well.
You got to feel for Augustine after sitting on the pole in the top 5 and now barely holding on to a top 10 run as he's got Talon Willis trying to make it happen to the bottom side 3 and almost 4, and Moit Bernier almost lost the firm.
He got into Aiden Forster, forced the 20 to send it straight in the corner. Forster still in P13 as we go back to the bottom. This is back into our top 10. Dylan Yeager sends one in on Jordan Casey, who lost a ton of time on this lead group. Ethan Johnson now assumes 3rd place, but as they continue to race on, 4 to go, passing lap traffic on the inside. Buchanan's trying to look in the rearview mirror and say goodnight.
Johnson trying to pick up position number 2 from Elkins. Elkins through the lap traffic, through Evan C. trying to pick it up. It's now a battle for position number 2 as Robbie Buchanan Jr. begins to check out.
Buchanan Jr. racing on a hot spot tonight is looking to do what few have been able to do on spotty internet connection. 2 laps remaining. Evan C. goes for 2nd place. Ethan Johnson on the outside gets held up. Tucker Elkins in the 87, but white flag is in the air as they fight for 2nd. Robbie Buchanan Jr. at the front of the field in the number 31 is going to get the win from Fairbury. The first win of his 2024-2025 campaign for the World of Outlaws Pro Series powered by iRacing. Take a bow, Robbie Buchanan, and he is excited or what?
He and Tucker Elkins were the show all night long. You sprinkle in a little Jordan Casey, a little Ethan Johnson, Evan C., and Robbie Buchanan beat them all tonight and put it in to victory lane for his first win of the season. What a show put on at Fairbury with only 1 caution flag. And at the end of it, Robbie Buchanan Jr. and Ethan Johnson are your top 2 with Evan C. on the podium.
He did not come into this race with a ton of confidence. He came into qualifying. He put down the time that he needed to, Tim, and then commanded that feature race once he got in the lead. Buchanan gets the win. Ethan Johnson 2nd, Evan C. Tucker Elkins, Logan Rumsey through to the top 5. How about that finish for your points leader? Tail end of the top 5. Aiden Tolleson, Dylan Yeager, Jordan Casey, Kendall Tucker, who's chasing Logan Rumsey in the points, ends up with a crucial top 10. Loic Bernier rounds out that top 10 of the finishers in tonight's feature race. Mike Augustine, Aiden Forster, Riley Hutchison, Talon Willis, Jesse Anderkin through the top 15. Diesel Jones, James Edens, Gabe Elkins, Connor New, and Caleb Durgan rounding out your top 20. And rounding out your field was Matthew Watts, 47 laps down. But Robbie Buchanan Jr. Ashton walks away with the victory. How about it for a driver that is racing off of a hotspot tonight? We know how tough it is to not race on your normal setup. How about not your normal internet connection?
Yeah, that was a tough task for Robbie, no doubt. And what an exciting race it was. Between that battle right at the end for the podium, wow, it was an exciting one for sure. And we'll catch up with Evan C. now. Great run out of there. Chaos in the last couple of laps there. Tell me what was going through your head in about those last 10, 15 laps.
Yeah, I was just trying to hit our marks on the bottom there, and hopefully in an important part of the race, it didn't seem to be that good, but it kind of came back to us towards the end. And I was hoping they'd start racing up front and get into each other, or something I could catch up to them, because that didn't seem like it was going to be getting a yellow towards the end if everyone spread out. But it was working out for us pretty good. We was able to get up to second there, and got passed back at the line. But the mirror definitely takes that. I kind of planned on running the bottom. I just didn't know if it was going to be any good or not, depending on what the track reset and how that went. But we stayed out of trouble, and I think we did pretty good from starting ninth here. And it's definitely easy to get caught up in a wreck, but was able to keep it clean and have a good run.
Exactly. Well, congratulations on your podium finish.
Yep, thank you.
Evan C. walks home with a third place finish here tonight. We'll catch up with the driver who finished in second. Wow. Ethan Johnson, what a battle that was. But tell me from your point of view, what happened there right at the end?
We were fast. I knew I caught Robbie, and they were all racing. They're throwing sliders, caught them, and Jordan lost a spoiler. Sucks for him. He was having a really strong run, But I knew how to get around Tucker if I wanted any shot at Robbie, and I think I just made the move too late. But we'll take a 1-2 finish. Tucker Elkins with the P4, so we'll definitely take this momentum in the next late model week at Charlotte.
Well, there you have it. Congratulations on your second place run.
Can I thank my sponsors?
Go for it.
I got to thank Jordan Casey over at Free Speed. He's done everything. If it wasn't for him, I definitely wouldn't be here. Tommy Gun Customs, Stolen Transportation, Clayton Tilley, and everybody else who helps me.
Well, congratulations.
Thank you.
Ethan Johnson with a second place finish tonight, and his teammate actually from Free Speed picks up the win. Robbie Buchanan Jr., what a run that was. This has got to be huge for you. First win of the 2025. How excited are you?
Oh yeah, I'm super excited. Winning on one of the biggest stages there is a huge accomplishment of mine. It's been a big thing for me for a long time. I was in the series last year, not the best of luck, and obviously this year's turned around a little bit.
Tell me about that pass. How did you set that up? You kind of played the waiting game there a little bit, set back, and then, went for it and never looked back. Tell me how you set that up to make that happen.
Yeah, I was just kind of being patient and waiting on Tucker to maybe mess up or something. And I was just running top and cutting it down and catching all the grip and everything. And I seen him make a mistake one time in 1 and 2, so I just took advantage and just threw a bomb in 3 and 4, and it really stuck.
Well, you saw the open door and you definitely took it, and congratulations on your win.
Thank you.
Robbie Buchanan Jr. Wow, what an exciting race it was tonight, guys. We just heard it. Let's take a look at this pass right here. Throws the slider, does not make it stick, and that opens the door. Wow, what a battle we have going on right now between these three cars. Josh, tell me your thoughts about this pass that Robbie was able to pull off.
Well, we saw just a bunch of sliders all night long, and it mattered for Robbie Buchanan Jr. when it needed to. There's the big move, and what helped him out, the 87 at Tucker Elkins behind, was getting pushed back into Jordan Casey, and then he sends another slider in. It was just too much, too little too late there in turn 2, and Buchanan grabs the lead, and there you can see the spoiler gone for Jordan Casey, who was having such a great night. I echo the same sentiments, where he was having a monumental run for him tonight, and just unfortunately couldn't make it happen.
Pieces and parts thrown everywhere off of everyone's race cars, but what a pass out of Robbie Buchanan Jr. And we'll take a look at the standings as they stand now. Logan Rumsey still atop of the points charts with 845 points. Back 48 from him, Kendall Tucker in the 00 machine. Third sits Dylan Yeager. Fourth, J.D. Brown. Fifth, Ethan Johnson. Just 209 points back from Logan Rumsey. 2 more weeks. Tim, what do you think is going to happen in these next 2 weeks after what we just saw here tonight at Fairbury?
Logan Rumsey's going to need a mistake if Kendall Tucker or anybody wants to catch him. J.D. Brown missed the show completely tonight. Blake Majulis misses the feature tonight. James Edens, after last week, moves back into the top 10 after missing the feature 1 week ago. So lots can happen. Still 2 weeks left. If you want to qualify for this next week coming up at Eldora with the sprint cars, get on the sim tomorrow. Get on Wednesday, Thursday. Make it happen and join us here on Monday next week for round number 9.
Exactly. You just said it, Tim. Next week is round number 9, last sprint car trip for the year, but you have your qualifying races Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday this week. Josh, we're back in the sprint cars next week. Last trip of the 2024-2025 season. It's going to be another exciting one.
Can't think of many better places to race 410 sprint cars on the iRacing service than the Eldora Speedway. But if you think Logan Rumsey's points lead of 48 points is safe, tune in next week, because Kendall Tucker now, with what we saw tonight in the feature race, Ashton, I'm excited to see if he qualifies for next week's main event, what he is going to do then to try and get those points. But you can only tune in next week to find out when we go racing at the world's greatest dirt track.
Yep, next week at Eldora Speedway. The Big Ian is going to be an exciting one. 2 more races left in the 2024-2025 season. Thank you so much for joining us here tonight, and we'll see you next week for the World of Outlaws Pro Series powered by iRacing.